Yes, you read that title correctly. I actually believe that Mikel Arteta is failing Bukayo Saka, and here is why. Well, let's start with the obvious, right? Saka's obviously Arsenal's main man, 22 years of age. He's their star boy, academy prospect, one of, if not their best player over the last few seasons, especially in under Mikel Arteta's reign. And, you know, rightfully so that he plays or is the first name in the squad for most weeks. But Saka's played every game from the 13th of August 2021 to the 10th of August 2023 in the league and in Europe. He only missed two League Cup games and played around about 10,800 minutes in the last three seasons across all competitions, which is a lot of minutes. It's a lot of minutes. And obviously, this means that he's played in nothing games, such as the end of last season when the league was already lost, dead rubber Champions League group stage games, and he's also played 8,956 minutes out of a possible 10,260 in the last three seasons when it comes to just the Premier League alone. And that's not sustainable, especially for a young lad that, you know, although he's plays at an elite level and he plays at the top level in the Premier League, he still is developing and he's still not the finished article. So to be playing that many minutes, especially in the role and the level of importance he is to the squad, I don't think sustainable, and it's not good for his long term development and his long term physical health. Obviously, you look at people like Rooney and Walcott and even Sterling, for an example, that played so many minutes at a young age that their body and their legs just couldn't keep up with them as they got into their later career. Obviously, Sterling's a prime example. I watch him play now for Chelsea, and he doesn't look anything like the player that broke through at Liverpool, or the player that won all those Premier Leagues at Man City, because his legs just look gone. He doesn't look like he can play to an elite level anymore, and he's only 27, 28. He's not exactly very old in the terms of a footballer. Um, Obviously, Saka playing all these minutes, that's not even to mention the fact that he is also looks to be playing through injury at the moment, with obviously it being a huge meme at the moment that he limps every game. He limps off the pitch after every game, after every bad performance. But that must be a sign that he's playing for injury. If we're going to give him all the benefit of the doubt, and not say that he's just limping and to fake an injury, just to like cover up his bad performance. If we're actually to look at it from a, yes, he's injured. He's playing for injury. He came off injured against Liverpool. He came off injured against Man City, and he's not getting enough rest. I think the only game he rested was a game against Luton, in the league, after being injured, and he also missed the first game against City where they beat us 1-0 at the Emirates. He missed that one due to injury, but still, like, he's playing through injury, which again is just going to irritate the injury even worse. It's not going to get any better. Could even do some long-term permanent damage, which isn't good. And even when you look at him being dropped and look at the possibility of being dropped, it is difficult to see who he's dropped for, because obviously you've got Martinelli, someone that is of similar importance for Arsenal, but he gets rested and he can be dropped because he's got Jesus and Trossard that can come on for him in that position to obviously give him a rest, freshen things up. But you look at Saka, the only natural right winger they've got to replace him. Obviously, you could play Havertz off of there, you could play Jesus off of there, but the only natural right winger they've got is probably Reece Nelson. Potentially Smith Rowe, but I think Reece Nelson is the only natural one I can think of, and he's just simply not good enough to be playing at the level that Arsenal are playing at right now. So even if they want to play at the same level that they are right now, they can't really drop Saka for the person that rides second fiddle in his position, because he's not good enough. And he's been known to not be good enough for a multitude of years. So I think it is poor from the from the board, from the club, from everyone to have not replaced. Well, not I'm not going to say not replaced Nicolas Pepe, because Saka did replace him, but like not have a backup, not have a rotation option that can compete for Saka's spot. Maybe if he gets a bit complacent in the team and he's not playing well because he knows that he'll play every game no matter if he plays bad or plays good, got someone there that makes him fight for his position and makes him realise that he isn't untouchable. And again, this is really where I do think that Saka's being failed by Arteta and the club, because you look at Foden and everybody would say that Foden's a bench warmer, Foden's not respected by Pep, he doesn't get enough minutes. But if you look at the minutes he's played, and obviously the fact that he will ride the bench, we've got enough depth in his position to cover for him. And even when he had his appendix out last season, he had plenty of time to recover from that surgery. Even when he's injured, we can afford to keep him out for 2-3 games, for example. And you know, we can play without Foden, and yes, that might mean that Saka's better than Foden in these debates that people have, because we can play without him. But it's important to be able to play without your best player, because Saka can't keep playing the amount of football that he's playing. The same way that I say Rodri, who's a lot older footballer and who's finished developing as a player and developing physically, he can't keep playing the same amount of minutes in the 6th role for City, the same way that Saka can't keep playing the same amount of minutes off the right wing. So both clubs obviously have players that they are potentially failing in a fitness and health way. But I think Arteta's failings with Saka are more detrimental to the player and his career than Pep's failings and the club's failings with Rodri. Because Rodri, if he gets injured, bam, yeah, our season's derailed. It's a long day for us because we don't have a 6 to cover for him. But I don't think it would have that many long-term effects on Rodri's career, given the position he is in his career and the years he's already spent playing at a top level and the trophies he's won, compared to where Saka is now in his career, in his development, and what his trophy cabinet is saying, especially given his ceiling as well. I feel like Rodri has hit his ceiling. I don't think Rodri is getting any better. He can keep performing at this level, but I don't think he's getting any better. Whereas I don't think Saka's hit his ceiling, and if his growth is stunted and his development is stopped due to a long-term injury or constant injuries because he's being mismanaged and rushed back from injury and being forced to play through injury, I feel like that's just poor from the club, and you have to look after your younger players, whether they're your star player or they're a rotation player. Either way, you have to look after them, and it now is shown because Saka's, he did score on the weekend. He did play quite well on the weekend. Made Ben Davies look silly. Not exactly hard to do. Ben Davies isn't a good football player, but nevertheless, right? But he hasn't been playing particularly well of recent. He's been playing through injury, and it's opened him up to more criticism. The club aren't really protecting him from that criticism, because I think if they were to protect him from the criticism, they would drop him, they would have a replacement for him, and they would just let him rest. But I might not be, I might be wrong, I might be right, who knows? But that's just my opinion on the situation and why I think that Arteta is failing Saka. But if you agree with me, leave a like, comment down below if you think that Saka's being overplayed, if you think he's being overworked, or if you think that these minutes that he's playing are sustainable and he can keep doing this for years and years and years. And also, if you're an Arsenal fan, tell me who you would like to see be brought in as sort of like a backup in the right wing position. Like the video if you enjoyed. Obviously, comment down below your opinions like I just said. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The goal is 300 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm sure you can do that. If you're new here and this is the first video of mine you're watching, please go check out the rest of the videos on the channel. I'm sure they will not disappoint you. But yeah, with all that being said, I've been Nathan, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Shut down cases, they belly dots to the can't see faces, chasing the bad guy chase it. You don't wanna be the one like Ace and like GTA trying to turn them out wasted. Aye, tell a bad bitch come break it, body come mad, come shake it, then get back to the basics, bro, don't shut down cases, they belly dots to the